Hello everyone, Achino here with another WoW video. Let's say first that, as always, this is not a guide. If you want guides, you can find them on the Rogue Discord. This is just explaining the new changes that we get on 10.1 with the new tier set. I already got it. When you have two set, the fourth set doesn't change absolutely anything on the builds. And then we will talk about two builds. The single target one that you would use on fights where single target is the most important, and then in case you want a fight like Sarkareth or something like that, you just take 1 point of deeper daggers and put it on black powder. As for the Mythic Plus guide, it won't be a guide, of course, but it will be the talent tree. This is the highest seeming one in Beast, let's say best in the slot. As you can see, it doesn't use Stiletto, nor the first dance, nor Planet Execution, because this is the most damage in that case. We do drop Shadow Focus for Black Powder, and then of course we get Tornado and Replicating Shadows, and now instead of the other season when we got Dark Brew, we have Flagellation now. I will explain the use of Flagellation. It's not hard at all. You will get used to it. As for the class tree, these 2 points on Virulent Poisons and Master Poisoner are kind of movable if you want. You could, for example, move Master Poisoner to Nimble Fingers and then Virulent Poison. It's only like 100 DPS. You could get Acrobatic Strikes or Soothing Darkness. Both of them are quite useful. Of course, instead of Shadow Runner, you will run Tricks of the Trade, because it's really useful in dungeons. So this one is the one that is pinned in the Foo's list, but if I would play it, I will make it a little bit different. Like, for example, this, and I will use Acrobatic Strikes. Then instead of Master Poisoner, Nimble Fingers. As for the Virulent Poisons, this is the one that you would drop for one of these. I really like Soothing Darkness now on some bosses that have constant AoE rot, let's say. But people get too used to Acrobatic Strikes and maybe they just die to some mechanics. So do what you must with the build. Now, two things that I will explain, and I will end the video because I will make another one about dust. But that's something completely different. I only want this to be the changes that we have with gearing in this new patch. Another thing is Flask of Corrupting Rage. It's better in all situations than the Field of Tepid Versatility. If you have more than 85% uptime, that is really possible. Even in raid fights, you can check logs of people with more than 85%. And of course, in dungeons, it can get more than 90% depending on your damage intake. Then, for the flag usage, in the pool, it's really easy. If you have unused trinkets, you will use them before using flag. In my case, I have Anvil and Bacon to the Beyond. I like to call it Bacon because it's really funny. And then Bob Dispenser, it's a little bit different. That one you can macro to abilities, but that one incurs a cooldown. The Anvil does not, so you would use Shadow Strike, and then you could chance it and use Gloomblade or Shuriken Storm. Gloomblade has a high chance, of course, because we have high crit, and we will be using Buzzing Runes, making our crit 44% more or less. And then plus 15 we get from improved backstab. That will be already 59, and then we get 10 extra, 69, and then 2 extra, 71%, more or less. Of course, when you use Plant Execution, we have even more, so it's 81%. The chances of critting are really high, so it's not really that much of a gamble, but if you fail the gamble, you would use Dance, and instead of Gloomblade, you would use Storm. So it will be really easy. For example, I will do this, Shadow Strike, and then Gloomblade, and then use the trinkets. You see, we do a rupture, and then I messed up one global, but you can see you wouldn't drop the slice and dice. You get like 1 second, more or less, for the for that change. And another thing that we have to take into account is the new symbols of death. Symbols of death, when we use our tier set, in that case with Shadow Dance, when we get Shadow Dance off cooldown. 1 second, doing some finishers. When we use Shadow Dance, we get symbols of death for 6 seconds. You can see here, biggest on 5 because it used 1. And then you can use symbols of seconds again if you have 3 seconds or less. If you use it earlier, you will get clipping. It means you will lose seconds. As for when symbols of death comes off cooldown before dance, if dance has 7 seconds or more, you can use symbols of death before dance with no regards to the problem of clipping, because it's likely that it will get to 6 seconds, and when you use symbols from the dance, it would get to 7.8 because it's the pandemic 30%, and there will be no problem. You will also get, of course, as you seen it early, it comes off cooldown earlier the next time. Flagellation, when you are not in the opener, it's the same. If you are running Stiletto on the single target build, but if you are running on the AoE build, on the for Mythic Plus, you don't need to bother to sync Stiletto and Blades. Blades, you just use them on cooldown all the time. And then, of course, with Flagellation, we want to use Flagellation when we are almost full of comp points. And then that will make it so that we could enter dance. Of course, in the single target build, this is the AoE build, of course, we don't have the first dance, but in the single target build, we run with the first dance. Builds before didn't have it, unless it was like the full single target one. It was the first talent we dropped, so maybe you didn't play with it that much, but it works that when we enter Shadow Dance, we get 4 combo points. So what do we want to do? We can do those 2 things. Ideally, you have 0 combo points, and then you use dance and backstab, and then follow the normal dance things. What you can also do, and you will do if you follow the best in slot gear, you won't have much haste at all. You will have like negative haste actually because of the Toxified patch and the Slimmy boots. I'm not using those right now, but you could have them. And then if dance is coming off cooldown, you can just pre-build 2-2. For example, I have 0. And then let's say we do 1 finisher or 2 finishers, and you see here, and then you just wait, and then dance. See? It's really easy. In that case, we would use, of course, Eviscerate, and then we will have Premeditation. We do a strike, and then Secret Technique. If we have a Weapon Master proc, it will be a full combo one. If we don't, it won't be, but that's no problem. It's how it works. That will be all the important changes that we had in this patch. I will make more videos about this and try to do updates every time there is something that changes, more or less. One thing that doesn't change is the Finality Rupture thing. If you are playing Finality, you don't play it on single target, but on the dungeon build you do. For single target, remember that there is the optimization for example, looking at the Finality buff and then renewing it before you are on dance when it's not the on pool dance. For example, if it's the first dance that you are using on the fight, you wouldn't, in that case, use this, but if it's another dance, you will use what Ignore the Pandemic and use Rupture just before the dance because it's stronger, and then you can just play as normal. So that will be all, and I will see you in the next video.